And a special welcome to Wing Commander Terry Boddy, and Terry's here to tell us about the roulettes, which you can see on your screen right now.
Good morning, Mike. Thank you very much. Here come the Royal Australian Air Force aerobatic team, the roulettes from the RAAF base in East Sale in Victoria.
The team's been going some 14 years. Terry, what manoeuvre are they up to now?
Right, they pull up into the first manoeuvre, Steve, is the leader's loop, in which they'll change formation into Vic formation. On the way up, you'll see them changing there now. There they go.
Now, these boys are obviously very experienced pilots. How long have they been in the force?
Right, they range in time of service from 14 through 15 or 16 years. They're all qualified flying instructors at the Central Flying School at Sale in Victoria, and highly experienced members on the aeroplane itself and Air Force in general.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the aeroplane. Is it designed specifically for aerobatics, or what does it do?
No, the aeroplane is the Macchi jet trainer, which was built in Australia under licence from the Italian firm, and it's designed specifically for our advanced training of our Air Force pilots. They're now manoeuvring for a position to a victory formation barrel roll in front of the crowd along Pitt Straight.
And the vapour trail there giving us a lovely picture of just how close they are, and how close are they?
They range depending on the formation, but normally they're about 2 metres apart, 2 to 3 metres apart. Sometimes they get a little closer than that, especially when they're flying line abreast.
Do you have trouble getting volunteers for this sort of work? It looks pretty dangerous.
No, in fact, volunteers aren't my problem. My problem is selecting the right people. The leader of the roulettes is Squadron Leader Leroy Gordon, and he's a Dubbo boy from Western New South Wales. He joined the Air Force in 1970. He's flown Iroquois and Mirage fighters, and he's been with my unit, Central Flying School, for the last 3 years. All right, they'll change formations shortly now into rhombus formation, which is 2 line abreast at the front and 3 closely behind. You'll see them change in a moment.
Sorry, Terry, what kind of speeds do they get up to in this aircraft?
The aircraft is capable of speeds up to 800 kilometres an hour. There they go, changing into rhombus. 800 miles an hour. During the display, they'd be varying speeds from approaching 800 down to about 200 kilometres an hour.
Now, these pilots are obviously members of the regular Air Force, but how much time do they get to perform other duties, and how long do you take them away from normal duties to be in the roulettes?
Well, their primary duty, of course, is to teach operational pilots to be flying instructors in the Air Force, and the roulettes is a secondary duty. We give them about 10 weeks training time, bring them up to display condition, and then a couple of sorties before each display. The number 2 man is Flight Lieutenant Ian Taylor from Sydney, and he's flown Hercules C-130 transport aircraft and Iroquois helicopters.
We're lucky, I suppose, the weather is so good today. It could have affected what display they had for us.
Yes, affirmative. Yesterday it looked like they might have to do the low show, but nevertheless they would have put on a spectacular performance for you today, Steve. Number 3 man, Steve Bahari, comes from Melbourne. He's basically a Mirage fighter pilot. And the number 4 man, Flight Lieutenant Mike O'Loughlin, comes from small town Darwin in Western Australia. He's a Hercules man as well and has flown Iroquois helicopters. And the last man, Flight Lieutenant Bruce Davidson, comes from Cowra in New South Wales. He's flown the HS-748 transport aircraft and the Canberra aircraft before the Macchi.
Well, we saw the Bridgestone Precision Driving team doing a little bit of low flying. I guess the question a lot of people might wonder about is how they manage to keep each other so close. Do they actually watch, look across and watch? Or?
Yes, they must follow the leader, Squadron Leader Gordon, at all times, have complete faith in what he's doing, and they fly completely on him. You'll see them changing formation now into Card 5 to perform their last manoeuvre today in the abbreviated performance, which will be a Card 5 loop. There they are, making the shape of a Card 5, do a loop, and as they come down from over the top of the loop, they will cascade away from each other, and that will be the end of our display today here at Bathurst.
Where do you go from here, Terry? They're a pretty busy team, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yesterday we performed at an air show in Nowra in New South Wales, and tomorrow we go to West Wyalong in New South Wales. Here they go, pulling up for the card 5 loop. Conditions today for them are pretty good, and the boys are doing pretty well.
A lot of strain on the old body with these G-forces and some of these manoeuvres, Terry.
Yes, they certainly work hard down the back of the formation, and the boys, when they get out of the aircraft, will be sweating fairly well, I should imagine. There they go, Cascade.
Magnificent display. We're blessed with great weather here. It's really shown them off to great advantage. Wing Commander Terry Boddy, thanks very much for joining us this morning, and thank the boys from the Roulettes too, because we've all enjoyed a marvellous display by them.
Thank you very much, Steve. It's been a pleasure.
Looking around their hangar there, make sure you see some of the models we've got up in the front hangar there. There's one of our blokes, Steve Keddy, who's an absolutely exceptional model builder. The detail he goes to is just mind-boggling. He's done the Orion, he's done Neptunes, he's done the Mackie, he's done the whole Tracker, the whole lot.
But I've always made model aeroplanes ever since I was a young child. My father used to show me how to make balsa wood aeroplanes by making them himself and then letting me watch him make them. But then eventually I got to make them myself, and so here's the end product. These are made from scratch. There's no actual kit of this size, so I have to look for plans online or wherever else I can get them, and then just manufacture the wings, the fuselage, put it all back together and paint it up, etc.
How long does it take on average to make one?
Well, I take about 6 months.
Wow.
But that's just working, part-time. That's not full-time, because some of the glue that I use, it takes 8 hours to dry. So you've got to fit something together, glue it, and then you can't do anything with it for 8 hours. So you just have to just chip away at it sort of every second day or whatever.
What's the most challenging model you've ever made?
The Grumman Tracker.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
Because of all the curves in it, and the hardest part was masking it up for painting, because everything just sort of fiddly in very close, and trying to sort of put masking tape to stick and then just spray in the relevant little areas.
And that's 844, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
No, it's 851.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the one with the Vietnamese refugees.
Correct.
Their boat. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Stuff.
After your tour, stop by the Connie Cafe for lunch and coffee. Mine's a large flat white double shot. Open tarmac days are a regular feature at Haas. From the only Lockheed Super Constellation flying today to the first Qantas Boeing 747-400, Haas Museum is located less than 100 kilometres from Sydney at Albion Park, gateway to South Coast, New South Wales. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe and leave your comments below.